An image overlay with Premiere Pro is simply when we place one image over another image on the timeline so we can see through them or we can see them side by side. So I'm going to start by showing you how to do a overlay with two JPEGs. So what I have here is a plain window JPEG, and I dropped it into my timeline under the V1 track. So I'm going to now drop another image that I have already imported here into V2. So these two pictures are going to be directly one on top of the other on my timeline. So when I click on this other image that's called Moon Starry Sky, I just click and drag it. I'm going to place that right on top of my plain window. So you could see here when I toggle the track output on and off, that image, the plain window image, is below, and then directly above it is this image, the Moon Starry Sky. You can see that I'm having an issue here with the sizing. So what I want to do first is, while I have my moon image with the stars selected, I'm gonna go over, well, we were here, you're gonna go up to the top in your source window and choose Effect Controls. Then you're going to be able, under Scale, to drop down this menu or slider, and I'm just going to make my image a little bigger, and you can see that it went bigger. So if you want to see that again, right, this is before, and I'm going to drag that so they're the same size. If I drag it a little bigger and I want to change the position of where the moon is, the position slider, so we're going to be, I'm just going to backtrack. I'm under FX, and when you open this up, it may just appear like this. So you're going to use your drop-down menu, and under the drop-down menu, under FX Motion, you're going to see Position and Scale. Under Position, you're going to be able to use these two sets of numbers to kind of change the position of your image. So here, you don't want to do something like this, but if you want that moon to go over to the side a little bit, you can do that. Now, with the moon image on top of the plain window, in the same menu, I'm going to, under Effect Controls, I'm going to go up to Opacity, have my drop-down menu, and then here you can play, you could drop this down too, with the opacity of the moon window. And you could see here I have a lot of options. I'm going to make that a little more darker so you can see that. Now when I toggle the output from my track on and off, you see that that image is right above it. And when I go to play this back, it's just going to play back at the same time. If you see while you're playing back that your computer is lagging a little bit, just remember under this option to select playback resolution, if you put it down to 1/8, it's going to play back a lot better. I'm not having the resolution will go lower, but you know that when you're playing back, if you're having an issue, that you have the option to do that. So I'm going to put this back up to full. You can also, with the image, the starry sky image, you could reduce the scale, and you can just have that image, I'm going to position this again, kind of appear as a little window over your image. And you would just do that for effect. So you could do something like this. On the right hand side, these sets of numbers change the position from up to down. I'm going to show you one last thing that I did not go over. So I'm going to bring back that plain window, and I'll do the moon starry sky. And this time I have the plain window on top. So if you want these images to play not one on top of the other, but to play side by side, you can click on your plain window, you go up to your source window, and you go to Effect Controls, you go to FX motion, and you could change the position of your image. Actually, I'll go in the other direction, right? And I'll put it somewhere halfway. And the moon starry sky is a little smaller, so I'm gonna fix the scale of that. I'll make it a lot bigger, and then I could move it up and down. I could even center the moon if I wanted to, but that means that the scale has to go bigger, and then you play with the other sets of numbers. So here you could have two images playing side by side, and for your projects you may want that to, you may want to play with that. Of course, I didn't, on these images, I didn't do speed duration. So right now they're playing at the default of 4 seconds. So I showed you a few tricks here. There's a lot more you can do. You could experiment with the way you want to overlay your images. You can put them side by side, full frame, and then back to side by side. It's really up to you how much you would want to do, and as long as you guys are having fun and experimenting, you're going to have success.